already knew I had him because there was simply no competition out there for me. But let's just look at it objectively. You had this average Black American guy who now was able to choose between what he was dealing with before and somebody completely new. And let me tell you, the moment I stepped into that man's life, he really didn't know how to deal with my femininity.
What do you mean by that?
Because I was not loud, I was not screaming, I was not trying to, be louder than him. I didn't interrupt him because that's not something that I learned from home. If somebody would speak, and especially a man, you would let that man speak and then you would listen and then say whatever you have to say.
Yeah, boy.
Okay. Right? Okay. So I was clean. I cooked. He didn't know what it was when a woman is actually in the room asking him, like, do you want something to drink? Before I got myself something to drink. Do you want something to eat? Before I started to eat my food, I would ask him, do you want to have a bite? I would come out of nowhere and just have a fruit bowl and just offer him some fruit. He didn't know none of this. So my husband, back then boyfriend, really thought this was a dream come true. He didn't know how to deal with none of this because all this me coming through, just being nurturing by nature, his peoples and his family didn't even do that for him.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Like the family, there is no family unit. The average family, especially Black American family, has barely a family unit. There is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are things that I introduced my husband to with my family. Can you imagine that impact that I had on him back then? So gentlemen, do not be afraid of traveling. There are so many more women out there who are willing to take care of you.
Nice.
It doesn't matter if they're young, it doesn't matter if they're older. They are willing to take care of you, willing to work with you, willing to be a part of your life. You don't have to deal with whatever you are dealing with back in your hometown because unfortunately a lot of American women are lost in the delusional world that they are living in, and they don't even understand that they are going to be lonely for a long time, if not for the rest of their life. They say by choice, but I don't believe them.
Oh man, we have to talk about this. Those are like nuclear bomb right there. That's like crazy. Whew. Okay, so that is the viral video, and a lot of times you'll see it labeled as German woman. This is Black women, or German woman is telling Black women off, something of the nature, something like that. But if you listen to the video, as we just did, if you listen to the video, it's more so just women. Like, you American women do not know how to take care of your man. Now, Black women took offense to this, as well they should, because we got to talk, because Black women, accountability comes today, because we're about to dive in. We're gonna deal with this whole thing today, and Black women more than any other group, I think, have taken offense to this particular video, probably because the guy that she's referring to, that she's now dating or married to, is a Black man. Look at that, another one gone. Now, a couple things in the video that really stood out. Like I said, this lady's talking about just overseas, like American women don't know how to take care of their men. And she said that she takes care of her man. When she comes into the room, ask him if he wants something to drink before she even gets herself something to drink. Now, to the normal human being, that's like, wow, that is so nice. That is so sweet. That is so kind. That's what I would want from a woman that I am with. But to you, not you, I'm talking about the women that are watching this, y'all are perfect. Okay, y'all, there's nothing wrong with y'all. But it's all these other women. You have a problem with that because you're a boss chick. You don't just do that for your man. He can get up and get his own. That's what y'all say, right? But in this new modern world, in the new modern age, women just find it hard and difficult to serve their man, to serve their husband. They don't want to do that. Now, they'll listen to their boss, and whatever the boss say. The boss said, hey, come in early. They come in early. The boss said, hey, put this on my desk by 3 o'clock today. They put it on the other desk of the boss. 3 o'clock that day, get it done. The boss says, hey, well, we need to get some extra stuff done. I need you to stay extra later this week. So instead of working 40 hours this week, can you do 44? Yes, sir, Mr. Jones. Yes, sir, Mr. Boss, I would do it. But when it comes to your husband, You have a problem with listening to what he says. You have a problem catering to your husband. You will listen to your friends, no problem. You'll do whatever your friends say. Hey, girl, let's get this girl's trip. We're going to go over and get these special massages where the guy just rides his hands all at the side of our back. We're going to do all of that. You have no problem listening to that. You'd have no problem listening to the government. The government says, hey, you better do this. You eat this cheese. You take this. You buy this with this car. On and on and on. But when it comes to your husband, it's like he is public enemy number one to you. And this lady in this video saying, hey, I take care of my man. He didn't even know what this was, this catering that I'm doing for him. He had no idea what it was. Matter of fact, sounds like the guy came from a broken family, like a broken home. Something his family. This lady said, in the black community, family is not the structure. Family is not there. You can't get mad at that. That's fact. That's true. Most kids are now in the black community are being raised by single mothers, and that is not turning out good. That is a problem all the way around. That's a bad idea all the way around. So black women, you look, come here, look, under arrest, come here. You have to deal with this thing. You have to take accountability for what has happened in the space of just black women and the way that is being portrayed. Now, if you look at it, we have to look at the whole of black women, right? Because for the past 2 decades, at least, black women have been going around saying, I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. And men started listening and said, okay, appreciate it. Let me go over here to this other side where the nectar is just as sweet. And now black men are dating Asians. Black women are dating Hispanics. Black men are dating Hispanics and Asians and whites. Black men have stepped out, and they don't seem to be having a problem with that. Successful black men, quote unquote, these athletes, all of these guys have no problem going and finding love everywhere else. For the black woman, that is not the case. Let me show you why. Because the data shows, statistics show that the black woman is the least desired type of woman in the United States. Nobody wants to date a black woman. Nobody wants to be with a black woman. Black women are the least married of all race of women. Something's wrong. Why is that? Why is that? Are black women just unattractive? Wrong. Because black women are absolutely gorgeous. From head to toe, they are absolutely gorgeous, beautiful women. And men are drawn to beautiful, gorgeous women. So why aren't they settling with black women? That's something that we have to think about. That's something that we have to talk about, because there's a reason for that. On the opposite end, it's not like black women just like, you know what, forget you black men. That's the problem. I'm just going to go out and date other men. It doesn't work, because even amongst other race of men, they don't want, in a general sense, they don't want to date and marry black women. But now when it comes to impregnating black women, everybody's impregnating black women, but nobody sticks around to stay with the black woman. Why is that? Could it be because of the lack of submissiveness? Could it be because the mindset of most black women is that I'm a boss chick? I don't have to submit myself to a man. I run my house. I do my own thing. I don't need a man. I got this on my own. I am the table. I got the goodie box. I'm the gift. I'm the prize. I'm the reward. I'm everything. And then you get in a relationship and the guy's like, nah, that's all right. I can go somewhere else and get what you have without the attitude. I can get what you have without the problems. I can get what you have with. That's what I'm trying to get black women to say. Black women have to be accountable for that space. Okay. Now, if you're talking about the narrative, because the narrative is a real thing, and if you look at it like on TV and in music, the black woman is shown and portrayed as something that is just unattractive. Your Cardi B's, your Nicki Garage, your Beyonce, your Sexy Reds, your what's the Stallion Girl, all of these, they're always twerking. They're always talking about licking some kind of hole and doing all of this foul, nasty, degenerate, ugly stuff, man. That is the image that is portrayed of black women. That is what's pushed forward for black women. And when you talk about leadership and presence, Like if you got a political figure in the black community, they're not going to come and talk to a leader in the black community that's powerful, that's strong, and that's a positive role model. They're going to go to a rapper. They're going to go to a singer. They're going to go to a Cardi B and say, hey, let's have a conversation here, because that is the way that they see black women. And if that's the way they see black women, black culture, black race as a whole see black women in that light. And what I'm here telling you is black men are done with it. Black men don't want it. No man want it. White men don't want it. Asian men don't want it. No other race of man wants that. Nevertheless, there's more. Because not only are black women the least desired type of woman on the planet, they also off their babies at a higher clip than any other race of woman. Not only that, thirdly, when the child is being raised, the worst situation they could be in is to be in a single black woman's care. Kids just don't turn out as well in that situation either. So in other words, let me put it to you in very simple terms so that you can understand it. The worst place for a man or a child is with a black woman, according to the data, according to what is portrayed, according to what the narrative has become. The worst place for you is to be with a black woman. And that doubles down, and that's more ugly when you have a German woman or a white woman or any other race of woman coming along saying, you know what, there's this black man, I'll take care of this black man. I got it. I'll cook for him. I'll take care of him. Matter of fact, when he speaks, I'll be quiet and allow him to speak. Now, to the normal mind, that is like, wow, that's simple. That's basic stuff. Your man, your husband starts to speak. It's okay for me to just take a step back and listen to what he has to say. But if you ask a black woman, not y'all, again, not y'all, I'm not talking about y'all, because my audience is perfect. Y'all are wonderful. Y'all are like Cinderellas and stuff like that. We're talking about all the other women that are not watching this show. Okay, that's what we're talking about. But when you hear that, it's like, I'm a black woman. I don't have to cook for my man. I don't have to clean for my man. You know, those are like lyrics to songs that black women listen to and dance to and celebrate. And then you wonder why these men are getting the passports. They're going overseas. They're not playing these games with you anymore. And that the narrative is there. Black women, not what I want. Not what I need in my life. I can do better. I can get what I can get from a black woman in the positive sense. I can get that from another woman and get the other great things that come along with that. That's something that we have to start to hold accountable. And we have to take these people that mean us no good and take them out of our narrative, out of our situation. I say that we should go 2 years strong without being portrayed in a negative light as far as black women. Don't show black women in a negative light. Don't show them as drug dealers or bad mothers. Don't show them as these hip hop artists that are twerking on stage and then, 3 years later divorce. Don't show any of that on social media in the positive light. Don't show any of that on television or radio in a positive light. Just cut it off. And any of these people, like I said, the Beyoncés, get a tail up out of here. The Cardi B's up out of here. Megan Thee Stallion out of here. Sexy Reds out of here. Any of it, get it out of the picture so that there's just a reset for the mind for black women. Stop telling black women that they have to go to college and get some kind of degree. That's how they're raised, though. Raised by single mothers. Don't you ever depend on no man. You go and get your degree, you can depend on your degree. Your degree will always be there. It won't. You can depend on the government. They will always be there. It won't. Anytime somebody say race in a sentence, it will trigger you. If somebody says racist or race or black in a sentence, you will be triggered by it. That's what happens to our black women. If you think about even Black Lives Matter, that whole movement, which is a sham and a scam, it was started, it was run, began by black women. Those black women got rich, got wealthy, did nothing for the black community, and then they dipped. But it was powerful for black women in their minds, even in the crime and the shame that it brought. We have to change that narrative all the way around. This lady is saying in this video that she took a man, and this man, she said, was just an average guy, and she treated this guy like an absolute king. And I would love to see more about their relationship, how it's transformed, stuff like that. But I bet you that guy is like, yes, thank you, I appreciate it, because you can't mirror that anywhere that doesn't have that type of attitude, man. Like, this woman is a winner for this guy. And that is the type of woman that men are drawn to. That is the type of woman that men love with a passion. And unfortunately, in the black community, that is not something that we say, girl, you should do that. Instead, we push all types of narratives that are broken and shameful in the black community. Now, I know you may be thinking, oh, look, wait, there's black men or this or that, whatnot. Just black women should just go and be with other race of men then. Ha! And that'll get it. Problem is, again, other races are the same. They don't want to be caught up with black women. And that's a narrative that we have to change. That's something we gotta shift. We gotta do something about. So that's what I got for you, man. That was a good video. And again, this video, from what I could gather from it, wasn't just a black thing. It was American thing. American women don't know how to do that. But the responses that I've seen was mostly coming from the black women in the black community saying, oh my goodness, no, she didn't say that, because they took offense to it. All the lady was saying that she was just taking care of her man at great levels. And you can't be mad at that, because that's what she's doing. So it is what it is, man. Look, y'all hit the subscribe button, man. Touchdown. Let me know if I got this thing right, man. Let me know if you guys want more content, part 2. Maybe we can do that too, man. Let me know. I'll deal with some of the responses and stuff like that, man. Like, subscribe, have fun, have a good night, man. Woo.